All right, you're watching DefenseReview.com. We're here with Ernie Bray of X2 Development Group, or X2 Dev Group, and he's going to show us this interesting new Orion X suppressor that they've got, so please tell us about it.
Thanks, David. The Orion X we designed as kind of the ultimate suppressor development platform so that we could optimize this for different weapon systems, different cartridges, so we can still maintaining our zero back pressure system, but we wanted to be able to adjust the blowdown, the clamping, time and distance of gas travel, those types of things. Also simplify the design. So here we have the cap now just comes off, and that has a system in it where as the gas comes out, it's going to rotate it around and kind of break up both your, like for flash and smoke signature. And again, you're looking at time and distance of travel, just how long does it take to, get the gases out. Here we just simply then remove this ring. There's a little spanner wrench that we supply with it, and that simply comes out. And so the only threads are down here at the end where, heat and carbon and stuff are going to not affect them as much. You can see in the end how that just that's all machined in. So to take that out, you simply push and it all comes apart. So it's completely user serviceable.
You just push it from the other side.
Yeah. And this is a modular core. So we wanted to go modular so we could mix metals. We could change, different flow dynamic characteristics. So here at the end, we're doing these apply additional clamping. So this is we'll call it a progressively asymmetric design. Different than the prior suppressor is here you can see it's more opened up at the beginning. That's going to allow as the bullet comes out of the gun and the pressure goes into the suppressor, it's going to blow down quicker, releasing that pressure into the suppressor so that it's coming out of the gun, and that's going to give you no effect in the operating system, so your gun's going to cycle the same. And then as the gases are coming down here, you can see that we have opposing laminar surfaces. So as the gas comes by, it hits a laminar surface, comes back on a laminar surface, so you create turbulent flow. And so you're now starting to slow those gases down. You're going to reach a point in this design where most of the gases are going to come out where it's least resistance, and that you have more pressure in what we call this coax chamber, the outer, than the inside. So this perforated design is going to allow the gases to kind of flow back into the core, and you're just kind of a big gas mixing chamber. On the end, in this last module, you can see what we're doing is you have the bullet has to travel through this longer tube. That creates a high pressure zone around the bullet so that it's kind of sealing that, and it forces the gases to take this outside path. So that's allowing those gases to expand, slow, and cool optimally. On the core modules, those just kind of dump out and stat. And so
just the internal baffles or whatever, right?
Yeah, and you can see the first one there. The first one there is longer, and you can see a left-right rotation. But you could change that to where if I wanted to go, 2 right, 2 left. I can adjust the length of this first one. So the difference between like a little 55 grain 5.56 bullet and say 175, 190 grain 30 cal, that bullet's longer. You want that bullet to be able to exit the barrel and the pressure to start releasing just as the ogive of the bullet enters this little area, which creates that microsecond plug or seal around the bullet. So as the bullet goes through there, it creates a high pressure zone around the bullet, and gas is always going to go the path of least resistance, which is out here. So you're forcing the gases to take this path, which again, we look at the amount of cooling surfaces, the time and distance of travel as that gas travels around. And so I could make that microsecond plug longer or shorter, the same here, and I can change the spacing. So depending on the pressure of the cartridge, the gas volume of the cartridge, we can completely adjust that. And it goes back together easily. So even if I drop these in, and let's say, I'm now taking those so they're out of time, okay? So they're now out of time. They're not stacked properly. I then just take this last one. You see, it's not going in, but you just turn it, and it's back to where it goes. So it goes together,
like
even
a
though
key.
even though
Like
it
a
seems
lock.
complicated. And then these go back on, and there's just a simple sequence. That one doesn't have a little ridge, and then the smaller one goes in the core, and then there's this one, and then it just simply...
It's like a big Lego set.
Yeah, so kids can have fun with it. You can give it to your kids when you're not using it, and they can play with it and take it apart, put it back together. Then it just simply drops in, and then you turn it, right? And then that goes up in there. So again, there's no threads back here. We keep the the threads kind of down here, where again they're not going to be affected by heat and pressure or carbon.
And what do you need, the spanner wrench?
Well, it just tightens that down and
Okay.
takes it off. So it's all. Let me grab it really quick here. You can see that just a little spanner wrench just goes on, and then you just can turn that down. And that's basically all you need to do. That's it for taking that apart. And serviceability, your cap goes back on. So you can replace parts. You could even, for multi-caliber, you could go a bigger bore diameter and then just replace this last module in a cap with a smaller diameter, which you can see there's a smaller diameter cap kind of on that one. And that's all that you need to do. So it makes it really flexible in design. So we can go and have a very efficient multi-caliber. Most multi-calibers are not very efficient.
Right.
And this allows us to have a really efficient multi-caliber suppressor. So that's it. That's basically the design.
Very cool. And that's the Orion X.
That's the Orion X.
Very cool. Thank you, Ernie. Really appreciate it. We are at CHOT Show 2020, and you are watching DefenseReview.com.